Hello guys, it is Tuesday, day number 2 of Coffee with Anna. So I am in my PJs, and I did say I was going to wear a different headband today, which is true, but still the same brand as yesterday. But here's the difference. I don't have my glasses on. My glasses were bugging me, so I shouldn't be playing with my headband this whole time, okay? So welcome, you guys. I hope that yesterday was super helpful. What did we talk about? Social media yesterday. Some of the feedback I got was that the like page information was good. So I told you all my tricks and tips and how I'm using my like page now. You should be able to move forward with that. If you Google a few things, then you should be completely set, all ready to go. So today we are going to talk about, let me pull it up, having a hard time getting people to commit to my challenge group and having a hard time sharing my own story. I'm going to just scroll through this list and see how many people struggle and kind of who those people are. 3 and 4, okay. These ones are big ones, you guys. This is, I think, almost everybody had 3 on there. And there were quite a few 4s, which is telling your story, more than I expected. Okay, so, but I knew that there was an issue. So here we go. So let's start with, how do we get people to commit to your Beachbody Challenge group? Okay, I'm going to say number one, and this is when I had a problem with people committing to my challenge group. The number one problem I had was that I was not on a specific schedule that was the same schedule every single month. When I have been the most consistent and hitting, no problem hitting Success Club 10, no problem getting people in my free groups, getting people in my Beachbody Challenge groups, it had to come down to a calendar. Now, I originally had a calendar, and I was using a calendar last year. But in the last 2 months, I've taken that calendar a step further. And then I will also talk about tracking, because that has a lot to do with it as well. So if you don't have a calendar, if you're not working on a calendar that is the exact same calendar this month that is this next month, then that is your number one issue, okay? Now, let's just say, and I know this, and this came up in my video the other day on my gut feeling, because I know, you guys, I know. Let's just say you have your calendar. For example, you have on the books a challenge group starting on Monday, Memorial Day, or Tuesday, whatever you choose. Deadline is the 21st. Okay, I've got my group. Great. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready in there. That is number 2. That holds people back. I cannot tell you, like 99% of the time, I talk to people that don't have a challenge group going. It is fear of not being able to fill it, okay? Not just that you don't have the people to fill it. It's that you fear that you won't have the people to fill it. So what do? You stop. Okay, rather than, let's just put this into perspective here. So when I have my day job, and maybe this is not you, but I know there are a lot of people out there that are like this. I had, not necessarily when I was in the OR working, but when I was at a desk job or management job, I had things that were due. I had to have deadlines. You know, there's like a medical executive meeting on Monday. I need to put a report by Friday. So, but I knew this 3 months from now, or 3 months ago. What do? I like, oh my God, it's Thursday. I need to get my stuff done. So I work really well under pressure, and there is no way that report would not be in on Friday. Okay, no way, because it's unacceptable. So you need to make it a point. I don't know why I'm freezing up here. You need to make it a point. Let's see if there's anything open on my computer. You need to make it a point to, and we say non-negotiable, but you know what? That word is thrown around so much. You make the 21st a deadline for you. You need 3 people in your challenge group, okay? Now, if you still have your doubts, then you need to reach out to somebody on the All-Star page and say, and make it known. Who cares? You guys are a family. This is not posting it on your personal page. Hey, I need somebody to run a challenge group with me. You need to reach out on the team page and say, do this with me, please. I want to do this on the 21st. My deadline's the 21st. Who else wants to do it with me? We are going to commit. Because the other thing, too, is when you work together with somebody else, you're more inclined to push yourself. You're more inclined to say, oh, I don't want to disappoint the other person. I better work a little bit harder to get those people committed, right? Now, I'll go into, like, the conversations and really, like, bridging that gap. But I really do believe that 100% is a schedule. And then the next thing is believing in that schedule and making that schedule a deadline like you would at work. I'm telling you guys, this is a deadline. I have no choice but to fill this group by 3 people. Now, you know what? When I was flying by the seat of my pants, I did that. I always did that. I always did that. I didn't always have the schedule, but I always made it a deadline. And I always had a group to fill. Now, the creative ways I filled those groups were to go back to, and some of you, I think, are watching this, probably were part of this. I would go back to previous challengers and go, hey, I've got a group coming. Is it, you ready? You want to do it again? Because I needed that one person. I needed to make it a group. And I was not sticking to my schedule, which meant I was struggling to make sure that that group was filled. But guess what? I always filled the group. They were not all great groups. Now, trust me, you know, there are good groups and there are bad groups. And I've had them all. And those that have repeated groups have been in good groups and bad groups. So I don't think, and I think that good groups and bad groups is really your own issue. It's not, the fact that you're helping people is a good thing. And they're in that group and they know that you genuinely want to help them. When people are not engaged, you take it upon yourself to say, you know, I suck at this and this, I can't run challenge groups because I suck. That's not true. You get better at running them. You kind of have to really feel it and get where, I mean, I've run so many groups, you guys, seriously, and all of them are different. I try my hardest to make them better. They can so much be better than they are now, but I always go with my gut, and then I can sleep at night because, you know what, I'm trying my best to help people, and that's what it comes down to. So, okay, so you need to stay, and the calendar that I put up on the All-Star page is really a guideline for you. If you stuck to that calendar and every single thing on it, that's what I'm doing. Guess what? You'll hit Success Club 10. If you stick to that calendar, if you say, I'm totally not a boss, right? But let's play it in our heads because we like to play mind games. I'm your boss. Here's your calendar. You need to stick with this calendar or else you'll be fired. There you go. So stick with the calendar. And you know what? If you need extra help, say, I need help. Somebody else join me. You get 2 people. I get 2 people. Let's do a group. Okay? So calendar, and make that deadline a deadline like you will be fired if you do not run that group, because you know what? There are always ways. Here's the thing. The way that I run the groups is that first week is a prep week. So yes, the deadline's the 21st, but guess what? If I had 2 people on the 21st, I'm not going to cancel the group. I'm going to start hunting people down again, going through my list on the 22nd, 23rd, because they still have time. I make it a deadline so that I have something to tell somebody, hey, the deadline's the 21st. But if I don't have enough people, that gives me the 22nd, 23rd. Well, I'm making an exception. You know, the group starts on Monday. But they have a whole week to get their stuff. There's no pressure, right? There is, here's the other piece of advice, and I want you guys to, like, write this down somewhere. There is always a solution to a problem. Every single thing in this business, there is always a solution. It may not be straight in your face, but you always have to think to yourself, there is always a solution. My God, I come up with solutions every single day because things happen every single day and they're not perfect. So there's usually a problem. So guess what? Got to come up with a solution. So the solution is, if you don't have enough people, you go find someone to help you run a group. Even if that person has an old challenger. Do you got somebody? Let's do it, right? And then you work together and you just make each other better. I'm telling you. There are the few people that are on this team that have run groups together. It's been so fun to watch because they've grown as coaches. They've grown together. You don't need me leading you to say, you got to do the work, guys. This is your business, right? Not my business, your business. You signed up for it. I'm just here to mentor you. I'm just here to say, okay, well, here's what I've done. Here's what I've not done. Here's what's worked. Here's what hasn't worked. And give you best practices. I give you worst practices too. Okay, so schedule, deadline. Okay, now you can have all that, but if you're talking to the same people over and over every month, guess what? They're not going to commit. Maybe one, maybe two, because it may just not be their time. And you can't say that, oh my gosh, nobody's, I'm saying this, okay, so first of all, you guys, I'm saying this based on my own experience, okay? Many times I found myself talking to the same people. And guess what? That was the truth. That's exactly what was happening. I was struggling to fill my challenge groups because I was talking to the same people every single month. I was not adding new people to my network. I was not having new conversations. Even up until about 2 months ago, I got busted for that. I realized that I wasn't growing because I wasn't having new conversations. Keyshawn Graves was at my house and said, are you having new conversations? I said, busted. So, are you having new conversations? No. If you're having a hard time filling groups. Once I realized that I wasn't having new conversations, guess what? I went back to my like page. Go look at yesterday's video. I went back to my like page. I started targeting people. I started following my schedule. I started inviting on the exact day that I needed to invite so that I could have more conversations. And let me tell you, yesterday and 2 days ago, okay, I posted on Thursday. Actually, I think I even delayed a day. I posted on Thursday or Friday my challenge group. And then I boosted it. And I had so many emails come in between Friday and Monday. I was like, oh my God, I've never had this experience. That's never happened, that many emails. I was emailing people left and right, and all I kept thinking, and putting it in my Asana email. I actually did a video yesterday, and my computer ran out of space, so it didn't work very well. So I'm going to tell you right now. Actually, I'm going to show you. You guys are the special ones that get to see this. I'm going to screen share. Screen share. Because maybe there's somebody, like I said, there's always a solution, right? The deadline, really, to commit to this thing is like, hold on a second. It was like yesterday. But guess what? If there's an email still, okay. If there's an email still on that page, I'm going to do the same thing I did yesterday. Because guess what? I'm not going to turn anybody down with the conversation, right? Okay. So I'm going to go back to my invited page that I had followed my schedule. I boosted on the 14th, posted on the 14th, boosted on the 14th. It was a video this time. Last month, it was not a video. I will tell you, videos will get you more emails, okay? Word of advice. Suck it up, do your darn video. And I mean, really, look at me. I am so not dressed up for this video. And I don't really even say much in the text. But what I do have are tons of emails, okay? Those are new conversations, new friend requests. All right, see, I still have some new ones. So here's what I do. So you guys heard me again. I'm going to repeat it again. Schedule, follow the schedule, Post, even if you're busy that day, I'm telling you, gosh darn it, go to the bathroom and post your darn post because it has to be done that day or else you're fired, right? Okay. Post, boost your post, gather emails. New conversations, friends. This is either on Instagram or on your like page. New conversations, okay? Then I will tell you at the very end what to do with your personal page, okay? So now start getting your like page together. What I do is copy the email address. I go to my okay, so now I'm going to show you exactly. So I had so many conversations. Here's what I do. I use Google Chrome and Gmail. Google Chrome has, where is it? Oh, there we go. Canned responses. Okay, so I take my script that I always send on the challenge group inquiry. It's the exact same thing, 30-day inquiry. And I paste it. And I take this because you can't add it to the subject line. I mean, you can't, it won't show up in the subject line. Take that, cut, and paste the subject line. Okay? That's it. I have to go back to that person's email address, copy, paste. Done. Let me read it to you. And all my scripts are up on the training site, but I'll read it to you. Hey girl, I saw you were interested in my Busy Body Bootcamp. I would love to help you feel amazing. Can you share more about what you are hoping to accomplish in these 30 days? What types of health and fitness goals do you have? What do you feel you struggle with the most? Workouts, nutrition, accountability. Can't wait to hear back from you. Super, super simple. 90% of the people are replying back. Well, 75% of people. Okay? Send. Right? So now I go to my Asana. I do this for every single person, you guys. This is your responsibility because this is your job, okay? Now, we're going to talk about fitting this all in on another coffee talk, and I will go through the same thing and how I fit it in, but we're just going to go through the tasks now and how to do this, okay? So, rather than go to that plus sign, I don't like that. I go to new task here, okay? Paste that email address. Copy her name. Or my Asana. Copy your name. Okay. Tag it, like page, because that's where she came from. May 26th group, right? Give it a due date tomorrow. I'm going to follow up and I'm going to highlight, add friend. And then I will go tag her so she gets the message. Check your email. Boom. Done, guys. Okay. Now, once I get all those emails back, I go in bulk and I reply back. And I will tell you, I will show you one of these from yesterday. So you can see this is the same message I just showed you guys, right? She emailed back, super simple. I am needing accountability, nutrition, and weight loss. Super simple, right? Okay, so how do I reply? Well, there's a few ways you can reply. I take these individually. So basically, if they share a bunch of information, I give them one message. If they share a very little amount of information, I need more information. I am not going to just give them the details. I want to know more because I want to know how committed they are. I don't want to waste my time, right? So I sent her this message, obviously sharing that we were like-minded. Tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how motivated you are. I repeat what her biggest problem was. What sort of physical activities do they like? Did they like in the past so that we can kind of decide on where to go from here? Okay, so here's an example. I like this. So she said, I'm motivated at an 8. I like activities like Zumba. I recently got diagnosed with RA, and I'm doing some CrossFit prior to diagnosis. Just need a starting point. So she didn't really share a whole lot of information. I'm going to mark this as unread because I need to go back to it. share with you. I'm going to go back to not sharing my screen. Stop. I hope you saw it. It just said there was a note up here. Anyways, if you didn't, I'll do another video. Okay, so she didn't give very much information. I just have a feeling that didn't share at all. Oh well. She didn't give it much information. So what would I do? What would my response be? I could do it one of two ways. I could go back and ask more questions, or I could tell her this is what the group entails. Okay? And just kind of shoot to the point. It depends on the person, it depends on the message, it depends on my time frame. I need to fill this group by Thursday, and I have a whole lot of emails for the first time ever. So I would probably go, this is what the group entails, because I don't really have time to sit in that conversation. I asked her questions. She does sit, I will put a note in my Asana that she doesn't, I'll put what she had written in the Asana on her name. So I will get an idea that she doesn't like to indulge. There's something hiding there. There's something more. Okay, so what most likely will happen is if I say, this is what the group entails, either I won't get a response back, or I will get a response back that says, okay, but tell me how much it costs. I mean, I can tell you 99% of people say that. In fact, those messages in there, I'm sure that there's somebody in there that says, how much does it cost? Okay, there's a script for it. And what I want you to do, I'm going to go through my scripts here because we are talking about how to get people to commit to your challenge group, okay? So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully this time you'll be able to see it if you didn't see it before. Share. You are screen sharing. Present to everyone. You are screen sharing, presenting to everybody. Okay, well, I guess, yeah, before it didn't show. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and show you now what I just did so that I don't have to redo this. How about that? Okay, we're going to go. I'm going to go to my like page. You can see here is the video that I was talking about. And here are all the emails that I was talking about. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go and I'm going to grab her email address, and I'm going to go to my Gmail account, and I am going to go put that there. And then I'm going to show you here, canned responses is down here. It's a Google Chrome extension. Just Google it, canned responses. I'm going to go 30-day inquiry. I'm going to take this because I added it in here so that I could just easily copy and paste it in the subject line. And I'm going to go back to the email so that I can paste it in my Asana and hit send. Go to my Asana, hit new task, save her email address, go to her name. What's Asana? Paste in her name, tag it, like page. Whoops. And May 26th group, I'm going to set a due date for tomorrow. So I've got her in my system. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go click reply to her. Please check your email. Okay, that's it, right? All right, so that's what I just did prior. So I apologize. I'm going to write a note so that someone doesn't stop watching. Okay, so you can see I have her name and I have everything. Follow up. I am super behind in my follow-ups. I want you guys to understand that that is okay because I'm going to fill my group. So what am I going to do when I go to my follow-ups tomorrow? Because I only have a couple people committed to this group, I'm going to go search my May 26th group tags. Rather than go based on my priority, based on my dates, I'm going to go to my tag, and I'm going to, hopefully, you guys get the point. It's going to show all the people that I've tagged. There you go. And now it goes. Awesome. Okay, so now you can see May 26th group. These are all the conversations I've had for that group, right? So you can see how I had some follow-up dates that were yesterday, today, tomorrow, da-da-da-da. Tomorrow, I'm going to go through this whole list, and I'm going to make sure that either they've replied back or they haven't, and follow up with them, right? Fortune is in the follow-up. This is why you need to use Asana, because you will lose track of every new conversation you had, and you will only, for example, talk to the people that actually email you back. I'm speaking to you from experience, okay? You'll only talk to these people that emailed you back. You will have forgotten about all those other people if you did not track them in this so that you can follow up tomorrow. For example, this person was in one of my free groups, and I've talked to her, contacted her a couple weeks ago, but she hasn't even replied back. So what am I going to do? If the old me that was not tracking, I would have completely forgotten about this person. This is a perfect example. Completely forgotten about this person. But instead, tomorrow, I'm going to say, hey, tomorrow's the deadline. Thursday's the deadline. I want you to take that spot. And then the conversation starts again. So it's super important to have the follow-up, okay? So, but what I'm going to talk to you right now is about scripts. And I'm going to talk to you about how to write your script, okay? You can use all the scripts in the world. I've got so many scripts on the training site, but you need to make it your own. And you can see this whole list is the scripts that I make myself. And you know what? Each time I go through these batches of emails or batches of messages, I kind of tweak my script a little bit. So, for example, here's that initial email that I told you that I put in the canned responses so that I can make it easy in my email and just, but let's just say that they had Facebook messaged me. So I can just copy, paste in my Facebook message and paste it into my Asana, okay? So it's right here. And the reason why I know that I get this question all the time, the reason why I have it in my Asana and in my Evernote is basically to share with you guys, right? Or to have just this archive of documents. So my Evernote, I have everything under the sun in, but I keep it in my Asana because I'm actively having conversations. So it's super easy to just grab and go because I'm going to already track people in here anyways. And I have them in order. So let's just say that person, I sent that email out and then they replied back. Okay, so here are a couple ways that I could reply. I can reply if they said, in fact, I'm going to add this to this. They asked, because a lot of times after that first message or in that first message, they will ask cost, but none of them did yesterday for me. So I didn't really use this message, but this message says, you know, something about cost. So I will copy and paste and send this message back because we can figure out what they want to do for their challenge. If I have somebody, this is the example that I showed you in that last message. So let's just say that initial message to you was, I just want to lose weight and get fit, like super simple. So I labeled this script, you know, addressing simple concerns. So I made it so that I can fill in the gaps, you guys. This is how you make a script, okay? Okay, what I'm hearing is, so you repeat what they said. I can totally relate. So this is where you use feel, felt, found. So I feel where you're coming from. I felt the same way because X, Y, Z. Here is my solution. Feel, felt, found. I found that doing this worked. Okay, so what I'm hearing is blank, blank, blank. So what I'll do is I'll fill in what they had said. I can totally relate because blank, blank, blank. Or I have a challenger who had the same issue and here's how she overcame it, blank, blank, blank. Right? All based on their conversation. So I basically copy and paste that and put their information in there. And then this never changes. So tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how motivated you are. You can see that was the message that I had sent her. But what I do is, it depends on what they say. So let's just say they say, I have a nutrition issue. I can't seem to follow a nutrition plan. I have a personal story that fits everything. I have a personal story that fits how I had struggled with fitness. I have a personal story, how I struggled with motivation. I had a personal story, how I struggled with nutrition. And then a kind of a combination, because a lot of people put it all in there. So what I would do is I can totally relate and I would grab my story. This way I don't have to keep writing my dang story. It's the same story. It doesn't change. It only changes based on what they sent you. So you can see here I have fitness story, motivation story, nutrition story, or combination. And these are my stories. I copy paste, put it in the message, send it back. So I make life super easy because I typically end up saying the same dang things, but I want to make sure and let them know that I am paying attention, okay? Now, they get back to me and they say, just like that one example, I'm going to say, okay, here's what the group entails. I like to put everybody on the 21-day fix, okay? So here is one message that I typically send. Okay, that helps so much. You know, and I make it real. Oh my God, that helps so much. I love it because it's what so many of us women are going through. That's super generic, but it's super personal too at the same time. Then again, I grab my story if I need to, and then here's what the group entails. Now, here's my favorite message right now because I've kind of tweaked it a bit. I've been getting a lot of people to reply back to that initial message with a lot of detail. They have high blood pressure. They have 100 pounds to lose, they have 50 pounds to lose, they blah, blah, like just a list of things. So I go right into, okay, thanks for sharing with me. I can totally relate. Like I said, this just is taken out of what I had showed you earlier. Here's what the group entails, right? Everything. Making this challenge group, making them realize how incredible this challenge group really is. And I want to say one thing real quick, and I hope that you guys are paying attention to this because I know that this comes up all the time, especially when we're new coaches. We just are concerned with them ordering a challenge pack and them getting in the group. What we don't do is we do not share how incredible the groups are, because let me tell you, you can sign up. If you go online, you can sign up for, personal coaching with somebody. It will cost you a couple $100, okay? For personal coaching online, same exact thing. But here's the deal. Your customers get you for a lifetime, right? How do you express that? You probably don't express that. So you need to look at what you're offering as something incredibly valuable, especially if you've already done it yourself and you were one that committed to it. Wasn't that valuable enough for you to be here in this position sharing it with others? You need to remember how valuable these challenge groups are. If you don't, then they are not going to commit because they don't see the value in it, okay? So for example, here's what the group entails. We will use these magical, and here's how it's real. And this was not mine. I used this from Natalie Tuman had used this wording, which I absolutely loved. We use these magical, yes, seriously, color-coded containers, portion control system. Each container represents a food group based on your weight. So it's very detailed information, you guys. You get to be a part of my private Facebook group for support and accountability. I will give you 4-week meal plans. Okay, so you're probably wondering, well, I can't create 4 weeks of meal plans. Guess what, guys? On the training site, there's so many meal plans that you can use, even if you don't create them yourselves. This is not my forte. This is something that once I finish my nutrition school next week, I will be working harder and harder on my own issues with creating meal plans, because that's always been a struggle for me. But what do I use? I use the ones that we already have, okay? So I give them 4 weeks of meal plans plus complete with 5 meals a day. One of those being Shakeology, and here's the video on Shakeology. I also added this yesterday because I tended to get a lot of people saying that they were just they worked night shift, they were on the run. So I added, this is a huge component. I truly believe it is important and will help you drop the weight. And honestly, replacing the on-the-go food with something whole foods and wholesome that typically takes away those cravings, because everybody always has cravings if they're eating out fast food, okay? Okay, so my point in these scripts are use the scripts that I have on the training site and then play with them. Send them, put them in your email, change some wording based on what you would say, but always show the value in the group. And then what you're going to do is you're going to copy what you just wrote in your email and you're going to paste it in as your own script. Okay, that's all I've done. These scripts are basically tweaking what all of these scripts were for me. You know, these are all other people's scripts, and I've just basically made it my own, and I made it in a flow to where you can see if I get 30 emails, I can easily go boom, 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 boom. And the way that I do this, I don't know if you guys know this because I haven't done a video on it, but you can sort in Asana, you can sort tasks to do versus due date. So none of these obviously have a due date. But if you do it tasks to do, then you can drag these in order however you want them, okay? So I keep these in order so that I know where I'm at in the conversation. So let's just say that person gets back to me. I can go, okay, well, I'm on step 2 or I'm on step 3, right? Cost, value. What will happen is I will get an email back that says, okay, what's the cost and value? Okay, so for your workouts, 30 minutes, and I fill in whatever the price of the challenge pack is at the time, creating more value, okay? And then typically when it comes time to commit, those people have an old account, never worked with their coach, never heard from their coach. I have the same exact thing I always say, copy, paste. Here's how to change coaches. Here's how to sign up. And here, I'll read what I have for this because you guys can pause this video too and write it down. Okay, so coach change, this is what I say, and I never have a problem with it, you guys. Okay, so it looks like you already have a Team Beachbody account. Here's what you need to do as soon as possible. Now keep in mind, I've already asked them if they've been working with another coach or not. 90% of them say, no, I haven't, and then you find out they already have it. They do have an account, so they didn't even know they had an account. So here's what I want you to do. And, you know, when you give them clear instructions, that's what they need, okay? Don't give them I think you should. Here's what I need you to do. As soon as possible, since the deadline is tomorrow or whatever the deadline is, send an email to coachrelations@teambeachbody.com and CC me on it and give them your email address. And say exactly what they need to say in quotes. I would like to change my coach to Anna Gray, your username, your coach ID number as soon as possible. Then I should get the email. Once I get that email, then you can go ahead and log into your teambeachbody.com account with the email above and order your 21-day fix challenge pack by clicking shop and the challenge pack. Okay, so the reason I do that is they're excited, they want to do this. I don't need to wait until the coach change has been made. As long as I have a copy of that email, they can go ahead and order. And then I can be the one to follow up. Where is that order in my system? Where is it in the, for successful points and things like that. But this way they don't have to wait. They already have an account. It's very important for them to CC you on the email. It always works. I never have a problem with it, okay? If someone is working with someone that, is a budget, I'm going to be working on these this month. In fact, in the next couple of days on fast tracking some coaches into discount coach sign up versus a customer sign up. So I will be tweaking these scripts that I've received from other people and making them my own. Again, those scripts are on, they should be on the training site as well because I put all my scripts on that script document, okay? So, I hope, let me go back to stop sharing. Okay, there we go. I hope that was helpful. It's weird, I feel like I'm just rambling. Okay, now let's go. I think that this should be good with how to get people to commit to your challenge group. It really is schedule, committing to the schedule, following up. So using your Asana, okay? You know what? If you're behind in tasks, don't Don't sweat it. Seriously, don't sweat it. Because when you do, then you freeze up and you just stop inviting. And then the deadline passes, and then you do this whole cycle all over again. If you follow that schedule, you follow what I say, you will get, I would guarantee you, you will hit Success Club 10 every month. No questions asked. You will be going on a cruise. You will be getting a bobblehead. You will be earning money. You will be helping people. You will have full challenge groups, okay? So that should do it. All right, so now let's talk about, where was it? Let me look at my Evernote here. Having a hard time sharing my story. Okay, I'm going to tell you that I struggle with it all the time. I struggle with this all the time. I've been a coach for almost 6 years. How do I share my story? Here's kind of a template to use, and this is the only way I know. And I'm always trying to improve it, and I always have breakthroughs, and that's what you guys, you know, personal development is all about, is breaking through your stories. I'm going to try to think of, oh yeah, a couple of books I wanted to share. Actually, this goes along with this part of it, sharing your stories. But here's a template that I kind of go with. Oh, I'm shaking my desk here. Template I go with is, where was I before? What did I do? So kind of a feel, felt, found. Where was I before? What did I do to work on that? And where am I now? Okay, so let's just, for example, you're a brand new coach. I'll do two different brand new coaches, okay? And then I'll do someone, further down the line. Brand new coach number 1, who's been part of challenge groups, become a coach, okay? When you're sharing your story with people, because it's very important to share your story with people, this is part of you stepping out of your comfort zone, because it's just not natural for us to want to share our story with people. But how are you going to inspire others? You are going to inspire others by sharing what you did. You don't have to be at the end of your journey, because there is no end. Right? No end. Okay. So, sharing your story before. Brand new coach challenge group. So, I struggled with, this is you, template, right? I struggled with staying committed. I struggled with losing weight. I struggled with following a plan. I just couldn't seem to, do it on my own. So my coach had this challenge group, this support group, this accountability group that I committed to for 30 days. This is what the challenge group did for me. And there goes my answer machine. This is what the challenge group did for me. I felt connected with other people. I felt that I could do this. I felt that I could make this work for me the rest of my life. I felt, whatever that is for you, you guys. I'm just thinking of my own self. I'm thinking of some of you that were in my groups. And here I am today wanting to pay it forward to other people because what it has done for me. Okay, that's a very easy way to share your story on social media so that you can connect with those new people, right? I had friend requested new people. I also forgot to show you what I do with a friend request, but when they accept the friend request, I make it, put them on a list, prospect A, prospect B. Prospect B is the month of May. Prospect A was the month of April. Prospect A will be the month of June. Those people go on those lists that I know I can invite in batches, and I don't have to invite them every month. Okay, back to your story. So use social media so that those new people see your story and they can relate. So for me, I was a busy working mom. I was a nurse. I worked at the hospital. I drove far. The food was crap at the hospital. I share that story. I have nurses who have connected with me and can relate. Okay, you get the point. Now, new coach, never been in a challenge group, decided I want to do this coaching, and I'm starting my first challenge group. Okay, here's my story before. Same thing. I was working on my own. I was working out on my own. I was, fitness and nutrition has become a new thing for me, but I wanted to take it to the next level. So I decided to join this challenge group so that I can stay accountable and work with others doing the exact same thing so that I can take my own fitness and nutrition to the next level and help others while I am doing it myself. So that could be your story, and that could be the exact story that you share on social media, okay? So those are two examples of new coaches and how to share your story out on social media. Where were you before? What is the solution that you're working on or have done? And where are you now? And how can I help you, right? So if you use that, that should be really helpful. Now, I'm trying to think, if you've been a coach for a long time, use that to your advantage. Use that to your advantage. If you have coaches on your team, use that to your advantage. I've got some amazing coaches on my team. Here's what they've done. They've lost weight before, or for example, for me, there's so many facets to your story. It's like your story is not just one thing. Your story is so many things that you can share. Obviously for me, for years, I worked full time. I worked my butt off. I drove. I blah, blah, blah. I realized that helping people was what I love to do, and that being home with my kids was something that I really, really wanted. So I stayed connected. I learned. I was a constant student. I reached out to help more people, and here I am now at home. Okay. Another example, and here's something that I'm working through, and this is something that I'm going to have to do today because it's on my schedule. I'm telling you guys, if you have a schedule every day, you're doing something, then I'm going to go through that on the time management day. I think it's the last day, for Thursday. So today I've decided to share my infertility and adoption. That was a big decision for me to do. I didn't realize that people actually really wanted to hear that because it was just so, and it's not weight loss, right? So I've always struggled with that. I've always struggled with how do I share that? And I just sat in a video and I just shared it. And the response back was unreal. So I said, okay, so every Tuesday I'm going to do a transformation inside and out. And how did I come up with that? Guess how I came up with that? I asked other people. I asked my colleagues. I asked my other friends who are coaches, here's what I want to do. What would you call it? What would you, getting feedback from other people is key to continuing to grow. It's key to lifting your lid of success. I was just having this conversation this morning with a couple of my coaches on lifting their lid, believing in themselves. I never believed that I never pictured, I don't say I would never believe it, but I never really pictured myself sitting at 10-star, 15-star until about 2 weeks ago. And I was like, are you flipping kidding me? Of course I picture myself there. So you get to those points where you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking before? But you have to raise your lid to that. And the only way to raise your lid is to connect yourself with other people and ask for feedback and ask for help and just connect. So anyways, the transformation inside and out, I'm going to share I'm just going to share and see, it will be good for me to get it off my chest and kind of go back and circle back with what I went through in the last 15 years, I mean, it's been in the past, and it'll be interesting to share. But that's sharing your story is, I think it's like therapy for you. So without going, it's free therapy, because seriously, on social media, no one's gonna judge you unless you say you're a total a-hole and I hate everybody in the world. Then people will judge you. But when you step out and you share where you were before and how you work to fix that or make it better, that can only be a hero story. It can only be a hero story, okay? That is your goal. Okay, and then I'll tell you some books. I can't think of. Let me look at my phone real quick. But some books on getting it out there and sharing with others. These are, I really love these. Okay, I love this book so much. People Follow You by Jeb Blount. I love this book so much. I actually only got to here, and I think I've read it twice. I got to there twice. But I love this book. So I highly recommend this book, People Follow You. Okay? This is a really good one. And then How to Influence People. This is really how to take people under your wings, how to empower people. It goes along with, you know, inviting people to your challenge group and working with people, because when you invite them in your challenge group, you're taking them under your wing. You want them to be successful. That is your only goal, is for them to be successful. So personal development, of course, it's John Maxwell. And then as far as sharing your story goes, I want to look at my Kindle and my Audible and make sure I'm not missing any good reads for you, and then we'll call it quits. Okay. Sharing your story, you know, that jab, 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 right hook. I was going through it again yesterday, going through the Facebook version of it, or the Facebook section of it. It's very helpful. Fearless and Fabulous is a really good book. I wouldn't necessarily think it's a good therapy book, I think. Fearless and Fabulous, okay. By Kara Alwill Leyba. That's a good name. Leyba. It's a great book, though. Okay, this is a good one. This is actually by Kim Garst, who's I would consider an online friend of mine, social media guru. Will the real you please stand up? This is really how to share your story on social media. It's Kim Garst. Will the real you please stand up? It is a great book, and it's about social media. So I would say that is the one book, and I think it's cheap. That is the one book with telling your story that I think will be very helpful for you. I'm going through my book here. This is an older book that I read a while back, and I don't know if it talks a lot about Facebook. And you know how things have changed on Facebook, but it's a really good book. It's called Likeable Social Media, How to Delight Your Customers, something. It's by Dave Kerpen, Kerpen. Yeah. And then I think Stephanie told me this book, but I never read it. The Story Factory by Annette Simmons. Okay, so can you guys tell? I've never been a bookworm in my entire life until this business. I love to learn things. I'm going to show you. Okay, so I showed you all books here. I'm going to show you. This is my Audible. Yeah, Audible. No, Kindle. I don't know. It's one of them. Okay, you can see all my books. Are you kidding me? That is my Kindle. This is my Audible. Oh, it's updating. Okay. Here's my Audible. Same thing. Look at how many books. Okay. I can get obsessed with it. But guess what? I am where I am because of this. This is a huge priority for me. You don't have to sit and read a whole book. I showed you. I read this book not to the end 3 times. This book I referred to yesterday because I just like to dig in and look at a chapter and highlight and bookmark and circle quotes and jot those quotes down for future posts. Okay. I think that does it. I hope that was super helpful. Please, again, if you guys watch this, if you can put feedback below the post on my blog so that I know whether I'm on the right track or not, that would be really helpful. So have an awesome day, you guys. Bye.